for some reason I had the video camera out and he was 2 doors down, and they have a hoop over there in their driveway, and he was trying to make a basket, right? I don't know how old he was, but he was just a little scrapper. And for some reason I kept the video on him, and he would shoot and he kept missing, and the ball would roll down the driveway, or it would go down the down the yard, and one thing or another, but I stuck with the video. And finally he made it, and I still had the camera on him, and the very first thing he did was turn and look at me and smile and make sure, I hope Dad is still looking. That's kind of that's what I think that he was saying to himself, is I hope Dad was still looking. And so I look at that video and I am so grateful that I stuck with it.
And just having 4 kids in a short amount of time, our house was a little chaotic. So, but he just kind of rolled with it. He was so easygoing, just happy-go-lucky, probably a little spoiled by me, being he was my baby. But yeah, he loved being around people. He loved being at his friends' houses, where there was a lot going on and lots of kids and dogs, and so yeah, he loved being around people. He was just easy.
I can remember a birthday party Joe had here that was a superhero theme, and everybody was in costumes, capes, and masks, and Quinn loved that. He wanted to be the Green Lantern. And he just was a very happy kid. He liked whatever he was doing.
The day that Quinn passed away, we skated together back here.
I called home on Sunday and everything was great. And I did talk to Quinn, and they had hockey that day and doing dad stuff.
Then Kelly came home with Connor and Ryan. They were skiing up in Spirit Mountain at a race.
Kyle had made dinner, and we were sitting here. Quinn was here. He was sitting right there.
He wore his older brother Jack's hockey jacket. It was maybe a squirt hockey jacket, right? It was a little too big for him, but he'd wear it all the time.
We cleaned up dinner, and Ryan and Quinn said they wanted some brownies, and I said, sure, we'll make brownies.
We were all in the den visiting, and Lucky was chasing him around, just because that's what she does, right? And I heard kind of a clunk right outside the den.
All of a sudden, Quinn landed in the hall right there with a really hard thump.
Right away, parent panic mode set in, and the sense that I think deep down I knew it was more than just, he fainted. I went over to him and asked him how he was doing, and he was struggling. He wasn't conscious.
Kyle started doing CPR on him, and Jack, who was 15 at the time, said, Mom, you need to call 911.
I think they were here within 2 minutes. I don't know that. It seemed like an eternity. And I still remember I kept yelling, I love you. I love you.
And pretty quickly they said, we need to take him to Children's. And this whole time I'm thinking, I can't believe this is happening. And one of the paramedics was in here with me, standing by the oven, and the timer went off. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're making brownies. And
11:30 or so that night, maybe close to midnight, they said it's time to let him go.
We started planning, how can we support them? Let's do this balloon drive. We organized hundreds of people to blow up balloons. Some people did it in their homes. We had organized a big balloon drive at our house. I think that was probably the next day. And we rented helium tanks and just blew up thousands of green balloons, put them all over the city, lined the entire drive into the wake and funeral for Quinn, lined the whole path from the Kirsch house all the way to the church.
I don't even know how it even started, but they were all over from here to the church for the funeral.
To know that there were that many people that could care enough to take time out of their day to buy the balloons and put them up somewhere where it was visible was, and they went, the fact that there were so many of them, it went on and on. And the whole day was a blur, but what do I remember? I remember the balloons.
When we got up to church that night, there were luminaries all the way up the driveway. People were still out putting them out and lighting them. The kids had made them, the whole school had made them. And that, just seeing people putting them out, people that we knew but maybe not real well, And then the balloons the next day, just to know that, you know, people were thinking of us and our family.
I'll just go start cleaning up a little.
We're going to do it again this year, and you know, it's as the kids get older, there's a little less participation. I'm not ready to give up that tradition yet either, and you know, I still come out here, and the year that we first lost Quinn, I would be out here all the time by myself, and it was a form of therapy and anger management and sadness and, you know, every emotion that went with it while I was out on the ice. And now I still like to come out here by myself and just skate around and have some fun and, you know, think about Quinn and our times together, and so it kind of keeps me connected to him too in a pretty basic way.
Clayton was Quinn's coach that year. He was his mic coach, and he, the summer after Quinn died, called Kyle and just, it was like 95 degrees that day, and said, I've been thinking about Quinn, I think we should do something for him to remember him. Wouldn't it be fun if we had a little pond hockey tournament?
It's such a fun event. I mean, people are doing it to celebrate and remember Quinn, but they're also doing it because it's a great way to pass a Saturday in a cold Minnesota winter. It's fun to go out there and play pond hockey, and people want to participate.
He loved hockey, so it's pretty much doing what he loved and living on his spirit.
When he said, let's do this for Quinn and it would be for kids, that was intriguing. And it was great because we started that, you know, planning in October, November, and it was in January of that year and was the 1-year anniversary of Quinn's death. And it was a huge blessing because we were so busy with planning Quinn's Cup that we couldn't get dragged down into the 1 year.
And I think that also translates into Quinn's Cup, right? Sure, it's just some boards and some ice and some music and some food, but once in a while you kind of get drawn into the real reason why people are there. And I remember last year I saw a woman who was staring at Quinn's storyboard, and it just kind of caught me because that's why we're there. And I know people were doing that all day long, but for some reason, just my moment of seeing her was pretty powerful because she saw it as more than just a hockey event, right? She saw it for something that it is, which is keeping the memory of Quinn alive and raising awareness about myocarditis, but then letting little kids have fun.
There's a little bit of relief in that we can help do something for the community that misses him, and especially his family. So it's a very happy kind of feeling after Quinn's Cup. It's a tired feeling, but a happy tired. We worked hard and we did something we can feel really good about.
I learned more from Quinn in his almost 9 years than I probably have learned from anybody. And you know, I'm so grateful for that time I had with him. And somebody said to me once, would you have not had him and not gone through the pain? You wouldn't. You would do it all over again. And of course I would. And he has just done so much for our family. And it also just shows you who's important in your life.
Absolutely blessed with faith, family, and friends. And anybody who has to go through something like this to whatever extent, I hope they have the same three things. And some people might put them in different orders, right? But to have all of those combined, I can't even describe how much it has helped.
You could either think of how he's gone and how he's not here, and so tears of sadness.
And invite Quinn to take the mound and throw out a ceremonial pitch. Quinn, it's your pitch.
Or you can think when he was here and all the fun times you guys had and how it was a blessing that he was alive and you were friends. Tears of joy.